Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Gaming Weekly.
Yay! We've got a real, hold on, wait for it. We got a real titan of an episode ready to fall into your hands this week.
That's not even what it's called though.
Plus, Pennsylvania is upping video game taxes for a reason that is, again, wait for it, not backed by anything smart or rational. Woo! Yay! Yeah. It's happening again.
Oh boy, yeah, the olds are after our video games again. Someone please distract them by building an abortion clinic for gay babies. Or something, we're out of avocado. Right?
Yeah, get them, millennials, we're gonna take them out.
Yeah.
And to top us off, I have some pie charts for your ass. I wasn't kidding last week.
But first, you know what, let's get the ugly out of the way and talk about them taxes. What?
Yeah, Game Zone, what are we in for here?
All right, so Pennsylvania has once again, this is kind of the second time this has happened, introduced a tax that applies only to certain video games sold in the state. Quoting Variety here, House Bill number 109 aims to impose a 10% tax on adult and mature rated video games sold at retail in addition to any applicable state and local taxes. Money collected will go into a newly created Digital Protection for School Safety account and be used to enhance safety measures in Pennsylvania school districts.
Digital Protection for School Safety.
Okay.
That's just like buying that browser thing that you immediately figure out how to circumvent so you can look at porn in the library.
Love you, McAfee. So, more expensive games for adults in order to fortify schools for children?
Sort of. Specifically, Republican Representative Christopher B. Quinn said,
Boo.
Over the past few years, acts of violence in schools seem to be occurring more frequently and with more intensity. One factor that may be contributing to the rise in an intensity of school violence is the materials kids see and act out in video games.
Proliferation of guns? Fuck you. No, it's Pac-Man.
He went on to reference an article published by the National Center for Health Research that stated studies have shown that playing violent video games can increase aggressive thoughts, behaviors, and feelings in both the short term and long term.
Everyone cites that one study because, like, look, that same article acknowledges that aggression and violence are not the same thing, right?
I mean, that's a really important distinction that I think a lot of people just don't even want to think about, is that, yes, when you play a video game that's competitive, you can feel aggressive the same way that you would when you're watching a sport that you care about or are invested in. That doesn't mean you're going to be violent, though. They're completely different things. So I can understand how that concept seems unfathomable to some people, but they can often go hand in hand, but it's a very important distinction to make. It also says, it is important to keep in mind that violent video game exposure is only one risk factor of aggressive behavior. For example, mental illness, adverse environments, and access to guns are all risk factors of aggression and violence.
We like to chalk that one to, oh yeah, no shit.
Yeah, and there are even other studies that say those factors are more likely to lead to violent behavior than aggressive actions from a video game.
No, cancel video games, whatever.
Also, like, aggression is just the opposite of passivity. So you need to be aggressive sometimes in life. It's not a negative thing to be aggressive, just in the right circumstance. So whatever. Yeah. I don't know about you, but I personally have murdered hundreds due to video games.
That's why you do it. Yeah, but that does not mean you should raise taxes, people.
We're gonna bury all those bodies. We need that money. Yeah. But seriously, the ESA, or the Entertainment Software Association, also thinks this kind of sucks because it does. They call it a, quote, violation of the US Constitution.
Ooh, them fighting words.
This kind of is a form of censorship, right? You're increasing prices on an art form based on the context of it. No. Which has no actual bearing in reality, which fucks over developers and every kid in Pennsylvania who doesn't have a lot of money, but might be passionate about the industry.
Yeah, so Cory Barlog, friend of the show and director of God of War, which is a mature game and won buckets of awards, tweeted saying, such a shady and subversive way to try and make some kind of connection between games and horrible acts of violence. We must make our schools safer and put forth every effort to protect our children, but making M-rated games the casualty misses the plot.
Yeah, especially when so many studies have suggested any link is totally false.
Yeah, there was a decade-long study in the UK with a sample size of 11,000 that found absolutely no association between playing video games and mood or behavioral problems, so fuck this.
Agreed.
So here's the thing that really pisses me off. If they're gonna put a tax, set it aside in a fund, we're asking these same people who don't understand this problem to spend money to solve this problem? They're just gonna buy like a fucking browser blocker that they're gonna give a shitty contract to some other company who doesn't know what the fuck they're doing, and it's just gonna waste a lot of money. Thank you, government.
If it's to fortify schools, I feel like they're gonna buy guns. They'll be like, okay, let's take those taxes that we made from the video games and then just arm every teacher in the school and be
Smart.
like, all right, solve the problem.
The gun lobby would enjoy that. Overall, this is just like bad parenting. You don't want to take any sort of responsibility for the fact that humans are naturally violent in some way, Americans more so for some whatever reason, but to blame it on one single thing is so lazy. You have to look at so many other factors here, and this is just going beyond video games. You just have to look at how people are raised. Are they raised in a violent family or a situation, something like maybe we focus on making homes better versus trying to take things away. I don't know. Just a thought.
It's such a fucking political play too, because you can't pass a higher tax on everyone for social services, because we as Americans fucking hate that. So like, yeah, if you wanted to like, hey, maybe we should have some like after school programs for kids that don't have dads or something like that, give them a place where they can be mentored. We gotta have some money for that. So maybe everybody kicks in an extra $5 in our city so we can, no! Video games bad, make the shitty millennials pay for it. It's their fault anyway.
I don't know what's happening.
Well, anyway.
Anyway.
On a lighter note, the studio behind Titanfall came out with Apex Legends this week, and holy hell, people have been playing it.
Yeah, well, it is free to play.
Yeah, it's still, sorry.
You can't tax what's free.
Yeah. Only 8 hours after the game was available to download, it had surpassed 1 million unique players, and it was announced that same day.
It actually had a better 24-hour launch than Fortnite, which got 1 million players in the first 24 hours. So I'm curious, is that Save the World Fortnite, or is that Battle Royale Fortnite?
Battle Royale Fortnite.
Wow, Apex Legends got 2.5 million in its first day.
And apparently it is fun, Alana. You've actually been playing it.
Has anyone else played it?
I played a game. I'm not really big on the Battle Royales, but I like Titanfall, and this isn't it.
I spent last night
It's
getting
not
the
Titanfall.
Flash Tracer achievement in Kingdom Hearts 3.
I respect that.
So.
Well, it's basically like, it's like Blackout mixed with Overwatch. The characters you can choose from, one thing that I really, really like about it, seems like they all seem like they're having a great time, and that never happens in these games. They're always like combat hardened men. But yeah, and these guys are kind of goofy and fun, and I really like that approach to it. I suppose Fortnite's not that serious, but still. Yeah, it's intense, it's fast, it's definitely a regular battle royale, but it's free to play, and people are very active, and you don't really need to talk to anyone in order to be successful in it, which means it's good for me.
Yeah, the communications wheel is super cool.
Yeah.
They basically give you everything you need to communicate on a radial menu.
No.
So yeah, you can spot things. You can say that you're going in a place, you're gonna stay in a place. And yeah, one of the main notes I heard is like, I hate talking to people, and this helps me both play on a team and also not talk to any human being.
Yep.
No. I see the Overwatch comparison there where it is filled with characters. So there was like the robot who shoots out the zip lines and stuff like that, and he'll just talk to you and say, hey, there's armor over here. It's like, oh, I appreciate that. That's cool. Once again, not my type of game.
Yeah.
But I can appreciate what they're doing. Respawn does good stuff, so
Yeah.
it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
We're just, to me, on a grander scale, we're in a weird phase where like Battle Royale is the thing. And I think the whole Twitch element too is strange, because to me, and this is totally anecdotal, if I have time, I want to really dig into the metrics and see if I can get some kind of data behind this, but I feel like what makes these games hit is a lot of people also trying to become Twitch popular. So there's a new Battle Royale, everyone's like, oh, I can make my mark with this one, I'll ride this one all the way to the top of the Twitch charts. So not only is it just people playing it because it's free and Battle Royale is popular, but this other like bolt-on of people who really want to be like full-time Twitch streamers also bolstering its popularity. I feel like, yeah, it just makes it the thing, which kind of is like, sort of like, it's just fashionable, which I never thought that would happen when it comes to video games.
Well, the reason for that as well, I actually interviewed, I don't know, I think it was like 30 developers about whether or not they approach game development with Twitch and stuff like that in mind. And it's because basically every single match is going to be different, so therefore it's limitlessly entertaining content. Because the players are the people who are making the game interesting every single time that you play it, it's still interesting to watch for viewers, so it's almost easy for them to do. They don't have to create the interesting content, other people create the interesting content.
They also did a marketing 3.0 campaign where they found all the top Twitch streamers and paid them money, and also gave them the new hotness of something that their audience would want to watch. So it is a great way of advertising something new and not going down the typical E3 route. So
Yeah, I mean,
sure.
this game literally launched the same day it was announced. It's wild.
this is it. This is what it's like now. Goodbye, BioShock Infinite 4-year announcement videos. Gone.
Still got Death Stranding and Final Fantasy VII's in there somewhere,
Nah.
you know.
It's not all good. We were actually told 4 days ahead of launch that Apex Legends was going to hard launch on Monday, and we were told it was going to be a Titanfall Battle Royale.
Yeah, and as it turns out, it's kind of not. Sure, it's Respawn who made the Titanfall games, but there aren't any Titans and there's none of the cool wall running, which is one of the things I love personally.
Yeah, Titanfall Battle Royale would have been really cool, I feel like. Also, when I think of Titanfall, I associate it with the wall running and fast movement and Titans, so it kind of makes sense they didn't brand it Titanfall. Maybe we can get a new Titanfall though?
That'd be cool.
Actually, no. It seems like this game was Titanfall 3, but isn't anymore. Titanfall 3 became Apex Legends, and so Titanfall 3 is not in development, which sucks because Titanfall 2 is very good. But yeah, Apex Legends producer Drew McCoy straight up told Eurogamer that 3 is not happening. He said, "The world thinks we're making Titanfall 3 and we're not. This is what we're making. To try and convince a skeptical audience for months with trailers and hands-on articles, we were just like, let the game speak for itself.
Smart.
It's the most powerful antidote to potential problems. We're doing a free-to-play game with essentially loot boxes after we were bought by EA, and it's not Titanfall 3. It's the perfect recipe for a marketing plan to go awry, so why have that? Let's just ship the game and let the players play."
So smart!
It's a weird quote, but yeah, it confirms that they weren't doing T3, and I guess that they were worried about marketing Apex Legends and having everyone be like, this isn't Titanfall
That's
3, and I'm mad.
exactly what would have happened if they were like, guys, sorry, no Titanfall 3, here's a free-to-play battle royale. People would have been like, fuck you, EA! Instead, it's they got to skip that whole mess, and they're #1 on the Twitch Lord chart.
That's cool. That entire statement is totally weird because in 2017, sources told Kotaku that it's totally in development, meaning Titanfall 3, and that the studio wanted to get it out as fast as possible.
They said they were worried it would feel dated if it came out much later than 2018, since it's running on the Source engine. Also, honestly, if it were a single-player campaign, a multiplayer shooter bundled together, that's kind of dated now anyway.
So sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, or Battlefield 5, not really pulling in the numbers anymore.
ripperoonie.
So either Apex Legends is a stepping stone to hold people over while Respawn makes Titanfall 3 eventually, or Apex Legends became Titanfall 3, which actually seems more likely.
Yeah, this is video games now. Battle Royale claims another real video game. We gotta rise up, gamers! This free-to-play scourge is stealing our actual video games.
At least it's not on mobile.
Yeah, it's not on mobile, so it is hard to argue with the results, though.
Absolutely, yeah. At the time of this writing, Apex Legends is still the #1 game on Twitch. So you can bet if Titanfall 3 released with a campaign and competitive multiplayer, it wouldn't be anywhere near the top.
Yep, on to the Whoopsie Report, where I read YouTube comments and apologizes for some shit I missed. So last week we threw out some hot questions for you guys, namely, is the Anthem demo okay or not? And are you okay with Metro swapping from Steam to Epic? Crunched all that data, had the computers running overnight on it, had the boys in the tech center put together a little report for me. So let's look at that data. Yeah, not the best look, really. Yeah, you guys are right. Didn't really consider how other regions might be affected by the deal that Deep Silver struck with the Epic Games Store. The only upside to that whole deal, by swapping from Steam to Epic, is that we got to clean $10 off the game. But we only get that here in the land of freedom, obesity, and mass shootings. Every other region on the planet can now only use a client that's objectively less functional for the same price. There's basically no upside there, which means that non-US consumers got dicked. So yeah, that sucks. We give that an official Gaming Weekly that sucks certification.
I was not on last week's episode, but I do have a question about this whole thing.
Yeah.
From my understanding, the deal of moving over to the Epic launcher is better for the developer and the publisher because Epic takes a smaller cut. Granted, it is hard to take yourself outside of the consumer angle of this, but try to think of it as someone who's trying to put out a product and they're stuck in one store. If you don't put it there, it doesn't sell well. But granted, it's the same problem. I totally get it. If you go exclusive with someone else, you're creating the same problem that it's my issue with Steam.
Man, if you're going to the gaming populace asking for empathy with a developer, that's not gonna go well. Especially the PC audience, which, God, I love you, I'm part of you, but y'all can be like very self-centered assholes sometimes. Yeah,
He's talking to himself.
a little bit. Like, I see it, like, people take the smallest ripple as like, I'll just pirate it now. And then on the same hand, they'll see people are like, why doesn't this game have an FOV slider and support my dual SLI setup? Listen, I get it, all right? PC gaming is kind of weird, but I would kind of argue that we need to support the developers like Deep Silver and 4A that make very PC-centric games. But PC gaming's actually pretty nice these days. I know a lot of people disagree with that. Sorry, man, I was around in like the early 2000s when shit was real bad. But try and empathize, I guess. They can't be turning a lot of money on the PC version of this game, or this game in general. Metro is not like a huge banging property, but back to it. Apologies for that oversight, rest of the world. I'll make sure that we try to make more of an effort to consider other regions when we report on stories. But I want to throw this out there. We live in the US, that's a gaming culture we know about, and obviously the one we can report on the most authentically. It's possible to put in the time and research to understand what's going on around the world, but the last thing I want to do is speak on behalf of gamers in other regions when I really have no way of understanding what it's actually like for you guys. So
I didn't know what a Tesco was.
Oh, yeah. Wait, you've been to London?
Yeah.
I went to a Tesco once when
I don't know what a Tesco is.
We reported on stories years ago where like, yeah, a game leaked from a Tesco. I guess that's a game store
It's a
or
convenience
something.
store.
It's like the thing where the balls are.
Yeah,
And
it's right
below
under
the penis.
It's right under the Tesco.
Games leaked from that? Okay, yeah.
They sell games. 7-Eleven tried to do it here for like a week,
yeah.
and it did not work out.
But either way, we reported on it, and people were like, "Why don't you know more about Tesco?" I was like, "Because we have 7-Eleven.
I don't have them here.
I'm foreign.
To somebody, everyone's foreign.
We're all American here.
Yeah.
So it's a weird line to walk, right? Like, so I appreciate you guys keeping us honest in the comments. I'll try to keep reading what you have to say and represent your concerns, but hopefully not speak inauthentically on behalf of your experiences around the world. And yeah, that sucks about the Metro thing. Bummer. But at least we're getting a PC port at all, right?
How are you all enjoying the Lawrence apology tour? Leave your comments below, and he might go around the world apologizing to your school or frat.
That's what we can use the taxes for, to send Lawrence to schools to apologize.
Hey, I love taxes. Yeah, good job, politicians.
Dirty socialist.
I can be that dude who's like, it's time for an assembly. We brought a special guest here, everyone, and like kids are already fidgeting. Here is video game expert Lawrence to come tell you about video game violence. And I come out to like 2 Unlimited, nah.
And then you just say it's not a thing, and then that's it.
Yeah,
Thanks for your money, bye.
Yeah.
go play Apex Legends, kids.
We need an out.
That was it.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Go play Apex Legends. It's a pretty good out.
We'll see you next week on Gaming Weekly when I come to your town. Like, that shouldn't happen anymore.
Yeah, no, I know.
Unless
Also, that's probably going to be our headline. It literally broke your computer.
Anthem destroys
What?
computers.
It did the same to me actually, because I was trying to turn it up to like unlimited frames basically, because I was like, I got a 144 hertz
yeah.
monitor, let's try it, and it shut down my computer and it broke another computer that was.